Welcome to the Pink Dress Effect podcast with Shannon
and Ken.
We are here today. I'm excited about this one.
Yes, fun one.
We are talking about what grinds your gears. And some may be like, what does that even mean? What it basically means is it's a pet peeve. We all have pet peeves.
What's annoying? What do people do that annoys you?
Exactly. And one of the things we're going to talk about too, I think, we're going to focus on what annoys us. But I also think that we have to remind ourselves that we have things we do that annoy people. So you have to kind of look at yourself saying, okay, what can I do to kind of, the theme of all of to be a better version of ourselves. But it's not all about what other people are doing necessarily, because you're probably getting on someone else's nerves too, right?
Yeah, probably. And I don't know that these are things that will actually change.
Well, that's true. But then we also have to think about, well, if we didn't have pet peeves, if we didn't have things that got on each other's nerves, what would we talk about?
Right? It's what makes us unique.
It is. And so we have to think about that too.
Yeah.
So is there anything that makes you want to pull your hair out? I mean,
my all-time worst pet peeve is people that like chew gum. And now if you're kind of, delicately chewing your gum, I can tolerate it. But if you got it, if it's anywhere where I can see it out of your mouth.
So it's seeing it, not hearing it?
It's seeing it. It's not the hearing.
Oh, then I'm good then, because when I chew my gum, I'll be on the phone with my sister, and I'm just tearing it up. And she is like, you are tearing that gum up, girl. And it's like... well, it's good.
Yeah, no, it's not the hearing for me. It's
okay, good to know.
It's the seeing. Like, if
like
you
that
go
sloppy, like
oh no, like no. Or going somewhere, like if you go into a restaurant, or if it's on the floor, if that is an absolute deal
Didn't you tell me, like, at one point sometime in your life you went to a club or somewhere that had gum?
I remember someone came to town, and I loved him. I can't remember his name, though, but
like a famous person?
He was a one-hit wonder, came to our town. And we went to a concert, and I walk in. I was so excited. It was a little local club, and it was like it was almost like a glowing kind of fluorescent light.
Okay.
So when you walk in, everything that was on the floor lit up.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I froze. I was like, oh my God.
Was there that much gum?
Yes. Like all over. I was like pulled into myself, like walking. It was like a landmine.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible. Was it like hard? Like,
I don't know. It's just on the floor. You know how people just throw their gum on the floor, and it was just
but to have that much gum on the floor.
It was an old place. That's all I can tell you.
It must be old gum. A lot of history.
And even when I went to the movies the other day, and it was a nice movie theater, it was good, but they had the tray, that rolls around.
Right, yeah.
And my every thought was, oh my God, there's gum underneath this tray. Like, it took me a minute just to kind of settle myself in. So that's my pet peeve. I don't like to see gum.
So like under, like if you touch them, because I know recently, not too long ago, I went to bring a table in. No, and there was, I could feel something, and I looked.
Oh my God, Shannon.
And it was gum. And I'm so OCD. I'm like for real straight up germaphobe. I was like, my hand was like this till I could go wash it. Like I couldn't move my hand. It felt like it was contaminated. I like, ew.
I would have died.
I touched it. Ugh.
All right, what's yours?
But not like in the same that. I think for me, gosh, I mean, I guess there's stuff that gets on everybody's nerves. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I think does bother me, it's usually like you're at one of the big stores, and people are walking across the street, and they are just taking their sweet time. You know those people.
I know those people.
And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Walk.
Yeah.
You've got cars.
Yeah,
walk.
we got things to do.
Yeah, that's one. And then one recently, I know this is probably terrible because it's like when I go to church, I noticed it. Everybody got to back in because they want to pull out because there's so many people. But I get there, pretty early. I'm like, why are you backing in? And then I got to wait. But if I'm rushing and there's a long line, they got to stop and then they got to back in. And you're like, why? And I'll be on the phone most of the time with my mother, and I'm like, these people are getting on my nerves. I mean, I'm in the church parking lot, people. This is terrible.
I know some backer enders.
Well, I mean, I understand why
some.
They're doing it because there's so many people leaving, and it's just easier to pull out after.
Yes.
Completely understand why you would do it. But when you've got 10 cars behind you, I feel like it's rude.
Yes. It still gets on your nerves.
And I'm like, like it's to the point now I don't even know if I need to talk to my mom on the phone when I'm going to church because I'm like, she can feel my frustration
Your
through
energy.
the phone because I'm like, and I'm supposed to be going to church. It's like, chill out, lady,
Yeah. Like, you gotta watch those words you might drop when you're going to church.
I'm like, these people are getting on my nerves. But anyway, yeah, those are probably two of my biggest
I think
things.
those are probably common ones.
Backing in. I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
And the thing with backing in, my mother, it's not even backing in, but really pulling through the parking spot. Like if there's one empty.
Yeah.
So for years, pull through. It's easier. It's like backing in, right? It's easier to pull out. I get it, the logic. Till one year we went Black Friday shopping. And I had pulled in like she told me to. Well, guess what? I couldn't get in my trunk to put the presents in the trunk because I pulled through and somebody was parked, right? So I couldn't. I think I had a minivan at the time. You can't get the thing up because there's a car right there. I'm like, really, Mom?
You are annoyed.
And exactly. I'm like, so I don't pull through either.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good pet peeves. I think a lot of
But the
people have
gum,
those.
though, that's funny.
that's-
And I'm surprised that it's the sight of it and not the noise because sometimes people they're just tearing that gum up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not the noise. Now people eating, that would bother me. Like if
Like
you're,
hearing
if
people
you're just
eat.
smacking and going down and eating. That would bother me. But I don't know. It's with gum, I think I'm probably so focused on like if I see it, like if I go out to eat with somebody and God forbid they take it out and put it on the table on the napkin.
Like even if they
My
fold it.
concentration is gone. Like I'm just like looking up the side of my eye.
What if they fold it? I probably have done that before. Oh my God. I'm going to pay more attention to that, I think.
I can't let all my crazy out. So,
That's hilarious.
But now y'all know.
That is funny. What about, are there some others that maybe you don't necessarily bother you per se, but that you think about that might bother other people? Like, I don't know, one that I struggle with this. I know I talk a lot. I do. And I'm excited and I want to share. I do listen though too, but I think sometimes people listen to respond and not listen to listen. And I think I'm 50-50 on that. But interrupting people, I know I do that to you sometimes.
I do too.
But
I absolutely do.
and you're not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're doing it to be rude. Maybe we're just excited to get our point across.
Maybe it's just ADHD.
It
I
could
don't
be.
know,
But that's a big one I think a lot of people do.
No, I
interrupt.
do it. I do. I'm so guilty.
And I
Guilty.
know.
But I don't like it when, like I said with the other episode, I don't like it when people do it to me. But I do it to other people.
I know I do that too. And then
Maybe we're all just out here interrupting people.
And something else I think that I'm learning too, it's like over explaining.
Yeah.
Like that probably because I do talk a lot, people are probably like, okay, stop it. We don't need all those details. I mean, for real, but do they really? I mean, do they even really care or do they even have the right to know?
Yeah, sometimes I over explain. But oftentimes I find myself, if people start over explaining in the work, like when I'm working, I'm like, cut to the chase, cut to the chase,
Get to it.
I'm sitting there like, please stop talking and get to the point.
I think I get like that when we're trying to get things done. I probably am a lot like that too, which is surprising because I do over explain.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you, like, the whole point of the show. We are annoyed, but we're also annoying.
We are annoying, yeah. We can be just as annoying, right? And so maybe have a little bit more grace for people, and just not be so hard on people that back in at church and just say, okay, this is what they're doing, but today I'm going to interrupt somebody, and that's going to annoy somebody.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
and another one is at the movies.
Oh,
when people are talking in the movie theater,
that's just plain rude.
It is, but people do it. And the phones, the light from the
phone.
phone.
Oh, the light. No, I don't like that. That's rude.
Yeah.
It's like people are spending what, $12, $13, $14 to go to the movies, plus the popcorn and everything. Probably $100 when it comes down to it.
Yeah, it's an expensive date night or
it is
family
very
night
rude.
now.
It is very rude.
Yeah.
The other thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that, like the national anthem. So I'm a veteran.
Yes.
So, and I've told you before that when I was in basic training, they said the national anthem might mean whatever. But then once you get through this training, you're going to look at it differently. And I tell you, my TI said that, and he was right. He was right because you'd learn so much about the history and just, people dying for our country and things like that. And so it does have a different meaning to me. And I imagine a lot of other veterans too. But yeah, when people continuously talk through it, It's rude.
It is rude.
It's just, I mean, whether you have challenges or
Yeah.
issues with our country, that's your business and you have a
Yeah.
right to feel that way.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's just, I don't know. I think it's rude.
It means something to you. It's important to you.
Right.
I think it's the same as anything. Anytime that you're in an environment where people are supposed to be paying attention, it could be a training, it could be anything, and people are talking. Like if I'm in a training and somebody's next to me, and it's happened, like whispering and stuff, and I'm just like, you know, I can't take it. Like I'll just keep looking. I'm one of those people. I just keep looking at you.
Yeah, I was
Like,
at an
just
event
stop.
the other day and it was like that. There was a couple of people that kept talking
Yeah.
when somebody was trying to give a presentation, and I
Yeah.
could feel myself kind of shifting,
Yeah.
like trying to ignore them a little bit because I was like, I don't want to be a part of that, you know, because it was kind of
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah. People
know?
do that all the time. I think sometimes I just think people aren't, I don't know. They're not aware, but I'll tell you, this is bad.
You'll tell
because
me
I'll
or
tell,
everybody?
No, I'll tell everybody because I actually last year, and so this is how I'm guilty of doing the same thing. I was actually getting an award for something.
Okay.
And so they're up there presenting, and I should have been paying attention, and I should have been listening, but I'm in the back talking away.
Had no idea you were going to win.
I had no idea I was going to get an award, and I'm back there just talking. And all of a sudden, I hear my name, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Was it like an out-of-body experience because you were so not paying attention?
It was because I was not paying attention. I felt bad.
But they probably didn't know, right? You were back there
yeah,
talking. But at least you were in the
Yeah.
back.
I was in
and-
the back. I was in the back.
Like standing or at a table?
I was standing. We were standing, and like
Okay.
there were standing tables, but that was funny
And you
because
wa-
I was literally like having a good old conversation.
You weren't paying attention. I mean, look, we all been there, right?
Yeah.
We've all been there, but
Yeah.
we just have to maybe be more mindful. Maybe that's the whole reason why we're
Yes.
talking about it today. Just be
Yes.
more mindful of
Mhm.
little things that, I mean, but God, when you think about it, anything you do could get on someone's nerves.
Yeah.
So maybe it goes back to having the right people in your life.
People who don't care. Like you'll get on their nerves, but then they're like, "Oh well, whatever."
We like her.
Yeah, that's just Kim.
Exactly. Well, like, you know, we've talked about this, right? Obviously, I am a talker. I mean, you know me. I'm very much
Yeah.
a talker, and that's who I am. And I don't know, in the last 6 months or so, I've had family members, like, they're just saying it lovingly. But I think now that I'm at the age I am now, I'm like, okay, cut it. Stop. You can't talk like that anymore. You can't
Yeah.
tell me I'm loud, and you can't tell me I talk a lot, because I do. And I'm not going to stop.
It's just who you are.
It's who I am. And so
Yeah.
then it starts to feel like it's an attack on you as a
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, maybe when we're thinking about pet peeves, maybe some of it's just who that person is. We have to
right.
be mindful of that because you could really be hurting someone.
Yeah. And does it really matter? Like, does it
No.
matter if you talk too much or talk too loud? Or if you weren't doing
No.
all those things, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. It's a part of who you are.
Exactly. And it was like, even my dad, I mean, he was like, God, you're so loud. He like literally said it like that. And I was like, okay, Dad, well, if you don't want to talk to me and I'm too loud, we don't have to talk. Like, I mean, I have gotten to that point now where I like will say things like that. And I obviously love my father very, very much.
Yeah. And he didn't mean anything by it.
No. He didn't mean it to hurt my
Yeah.
feelings, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm just tired because I think within that time span, I think like 3 people had said it in my family. And it was like, why are you telling me something I already know?
Yeah.
Like, I already know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to tell me. How about I tell you something about you? You're not going to like that. Right? I mean, because
Yeah,
it
quid
just,
pro quo.
right, it becomes an attack of who you
Yeah,
are, and that's
yeah.
not okay.
And that is not okay.
So I think you have to think about that with pet peeves, right? You have to think about, okay, is that just someone chewing gum or showing their
Well,
gum?
see, and that's why you wouldn't know, because I'm not going to tell most people. I'm just going to be giving you the side eye.
So everybody
But
who
I'm not
knows
gonna
Kim
tell you.
now knows that she doesn't like to see gum. So chew with your mouth shut, right? And don't take it out and put it on a napkin.
Oh, God forbid. Please don't.
Or take her
Have
anywhere.
mercy.
Or take her anywhere where it's all over the floor.
Oh, no, you'll see me like
That's really
tiptoeing.
nasty.
It is.
But I think about
even-
stepping on it and get on the bottom of your shoe,
Yeah.
and then you got to clean it off.
Oh, that's a nightmare. That has happened, but that's an absolute
Did
nightmare.
it happen at that club or that bar or wherever?
No, because I think it was just old.
Ugh.
You know, but it's like,
so gross.
you know, you walk into a Target or, you know, any store. You walk into it and it's all there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
She's like,
And if it's raining,
What does rain have to do with
I
it?
don't know, but the rain
and the gum?
rain takes it to a whole new level.
What do you
Yes.
mean? Like
It's
the rain and the gum?
The level of disgust for me.
Wait a minute. So is it like the rain? You see it on the floor or on the ground,
It's
like
just
outside?
wet. It's just wet.
Wet gum.
I can't go to restaurants either.
So maybe that's what the problem is.
Right.
It's the gum that it's all.
I don't know.
Am I grossing you out? So even just talking about it just makes. Oh my goodness.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies. It does.
I'm sorry.
But
All right, I
that
won't
does
chew
tie
gum.
in. It does tie into like going to restaurants. If it's raining, I won't do that.
Wait. You
Maybe-
won't do that.
Wait,
Wait, you
maybe
won't
we're
do
leaning
what?
into our
Wait a
little.
minute.
And this might be a whole nother show.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You're like, I won't do that. What do you mean?
If it's raining, I don't. There's a couple things I don't like to do if it's raining.
Okay, tell me, because it's
I
not
don't
raining
like-
today, and we might go.
Yeah.
get
I
something to
don't
eat.
like going into restaurants if it's raining. If I have a suspicion that it might smell like, musty and mildewy.
Like it has that old carpet.
Yeah.
Now that old like there was a restaurant I went to where I used to live, and they had that old carpet, and we'd go there. The food was so good, but I'd go in there and it would taint me a little bit. I would eat, but it would taint me. And then years later, they replaced it with like tiles or something, which made more
You were
sense
happy,
for a restaurant.
excited.
Well, they could clean it. How can you
Yeah.
clean carpet like that when they're making, cooking in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just had that. I know what you're saying because that gives
Yeah.
you. But the rain, something with the rain does that. Okay, so you don't eat
Yeah.
out when it's raining most.
I
Times.
don't. If it was a really nice restaurant where I could like trust that everything was clean and good.
But how do you even know though? It's just. But
It's
how do
just-
we even know? They got the little score up there, 98.
Well,
And they got an A.
look, it's psychological. It's the appearance.
It's the appearance.
Right. If it looks like it's clean, my mind says it's clean.
Right. But
Yeah.
it might not.
It
be.
might not be
It might be the
clean.
dirtiest, nastiest.
It might
kitchen.
not be because I don't look at scores really. So
Yeah, and plus different states, I don't even know if they have that same criteria.
yeah,
But our state, you see the little ABC.
you do.
Now D, they might just close it. I don't know. That is so funny. So
What are some other common ones?
God, I'm trying to think. Burping.
Burping. Oh,
Oh my gosh, yes. It's terrible. Well, everybody burps.
everybody burps.
I mean, look, when you're a baby, burp, right? We want our baby.
it's so cute.
But
when
isn't
they're
it funny?
babies.
But they have to burp, right? Because the
Yeah.
gas.
Mhm.
But it is kind of funny. Think about it. We teach our children from the time they're newborns, they got to burp because they've got to burp.
Yeah.
And then they're passing gas and all those things. And then as you grow up, it becomes a rude thing. Isn't that
Yes.
funny?
Yeah.
When it was so part of what you wanted for them because
Yeah.
their little bellies were all gassy and you wanted them to burp and pass
Yeah.
gas.
Well, all bodily functions as you age, they're no longer cute.
No. But unfortunately, it's a part of life.
It is a part of life, but keep it to yourself.
But yeah,
If you can, do your best.
I know someone who they like not just burp, and it's a female.
Mm-hmm.
They belch like a man. And my this person's husband, actually I was on the phone with him yesterday, burped like it was no tomorrow, and it just kept coming. And I was like, "You sound nasty." I literally said that. I'm like, "That is so unladylike." Not that it's okay for a man to do it.
Mhm.
And her husband was like, "Well, it's like I'm with a man." He said that. I could hear him because they were driving. He said, "It's like I'm with a man." He said, "It's just so sexy." And then she said, "Oh, he loves my sexy burps." And I'm like, "This is what happens when you've been together."
maybe
real-
maybe she's just really gassy.
No, she's nasty.
No.
And
That's a T-shirt.
I'm
I'm not
nasty.
gassy.
I'm
I'm nasty.
I love that. We should do that. But no, and I love this person dearly, and she's going to kill me for talking about it. But I'm just like, come on, cover your mouth. I mean, look, burp, fine.
Yeah.
I imagine she probably had a soft drink,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
the bubbles.
Well, see, she probably couldn't help it. It just came out.
No, she does it a lot. She does it a lot. But it's so sexy.
I do some. I have people in my life who do that.
Belch like that?
Yes,
Women or men?
Women.
Women.
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know if they do it around other people, but they certainly do it within the family context.
Well, I mean, and maybe it goes back to being comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's something. Look, if I got to burp, I got to burp. But if I knew I'm going to belch like that,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would like to do that in front of my husband because he might be like, girl, what you doing? Like, I
I'm
mean,
trying to think. I'm pretty sure I've done that.
well, I'm sure everybody does, but like consciously, right? Like,
Yeah.
would you say, let me just, it was like a belch that just kept coming. Like
I
you
know.
could feel the bubbles.
I know, but sometimes your stomach gets to rumbling, and that's and yeah, I think I probably have done that, but not in public, not in public.
Right, but if you want him to think you're sexy,
Well, yeah,
do you want him to think? But I guess, well, maybe that's
he's probably like that other husband,
Well, but relationships, right? You need to be able to be real, and
Yeah.
it is part of life, and it is a part of our anatomy. You
Yeah,
gotta
but
get it out.
there are absolutely women who are not having any parts of that with their significant other or husband. They're just not going to perform any type of bodily function in front of them.
They just don't do it.
They just don't do it. It's
well, they
a
just
hard
don't do
no.
it at all. I mean, they're not. Their body doesn't even allow them to do it. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
superhuman.
They're superhuman.
They
But
are.
well, right. I mean, I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you
I
can't
know.
I mean, people get sick, people
Yeah.
throw up, people do all those things that you can't. Might be pet peeves, right? But you can't control that stuff. It's
Yeah,
part of life.
it's just another one of those. Another one. What about this one? I think this is a common. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees with this. Is the reply all on emails?
on emails. Yeah.
I think that's annoying, but maybe not. I don't know. I find it annoying to keep getting dinged when you get tons of
Right.
emails. To keep getting those emails coming in
Yeah.
that you just have to delete. And if you're a person like me who never deletes emails, then it just adds to the number.
Yeah.
You don't want reply all.
But maybe, and I agree with you, but maybe in
Mhm.
some case, because I do include a couple people on my chain,
Uh-huh.
but it's for a different reason. It's more like I want them to know what I'm doing. They've not asked, but they need to know what I'm doing.
But see, that's a CC.
Well, that's more CC. You're
Yeah.
saying reply all for the,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like if you send a big, like say you send it to a big group.
Right, I see what you're saying.
And then when they're replying back, they reply all.
To everybody.
To
I see what you're
everybody.
saying, not the CC. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
probably I don't do that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would,
But a lot of people do.
a lot of people do that.
What about people who don't use signals when they're turning their car?
I don't know that
That doesn't bother
I
you?
don't get all unless they break really
Mhm,
abruptly, then I'm like,
mhm,
what the heck? Because then
mhm.
you cause an accident.
See, I don't
I don't
like
think
that.
it's a huge red flag for me.
Yeah.
Or
It doesn't annoy you that much?
No.
That annoys me. That really
No,
does.
No,
I'm like, use your signal.
no.
I'm a rule follower. Like, I'm going to use that signal.
and I do use my signal, but I don't think it bothers me
Yeah.
like to that degree.
Yeah. If I didn't have it, like if it was broke or something, I'm one of those people I probably use. Remember, I don't even know if they still teach this in driver's ed, but you could stick your hand out the window and you use the different like signs to let people know you're going left or right or.
What driver's ed did you take?
Look, put it in the comments if that's a thing. Unless I just
Well,
made
like
it
I
up.
could just stick my hand
Yeah,
out.
there's a way to stick your hand out to indicate which direction you're going
Oh.
if it's broken.
Oh, if it's broken, go
Yeah.
get it fixed.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was broken and I hadn't gotten it fixed yet, I
Right.
probably would stick that. I would look it up because I don't remember.
Stick your hand
and
out?
I'd stick that hand
Because I
out.
wonder if, like, okay, I'm driving and I'm going to turn left. I go
Yeah.
left.
And then
But
there's
how do you
up.
signify to right?
If you're going straight, it's like maybe it's up and then left.
Okay, I'm going to have to
right?
Google this after this show because I've never heard of such a thing. Now, if you're riding a bike,
No.
if you're riding a bike, you know what I mean? They hold out their hands. Oh, they'll be like, yesterday I did a little
But it's
5K.
probably the same thing.
And they were like, on your left. So you knew that you needed to move over.
Mm-hmm.
But
It could be that I'm remembering from riding a bike too. I could have totally made it up.
I don't remember that. That's funny. Yeah, what
Yeah,
about
let us know.
you're at the grocery store
Mhm.
and people that don't put the grocery carts back, the
Oh.
buggies back?
I always put my grocery cart
I do
back.
too. The only place, there is one large store that it's where I always try to put it back.
Mhm.
And I always feel guilty if I put it with the other ones that aren't put back because
Yeah.
the parking lot is packed 100% of the time. It is
Mhm.
almost near impossible to get a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it is one of the fastest or the busiest stores of their kind
Yeah.
in the United States. And it's in
Okay.
my town.
Mm,
And
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And so I always put it back, but there are some spots where like it's far.
Mhm.
And so if there's a a group of cards, I'll throw mine in there like I did the other
Yeah.
day. And I kind of felt a little guilty, but then I was like, well, they're all
Yeah.
together. But on the norm, I put it back too. Because
Yeah.
there are people who that's their job, and it's kind of rude. Like, it only takes a couple minutes to put it back.
Yeah. Yeah. I always put it back because I'm always thinking about it'll roll or, it'll be in
Yeah.
someone's way and they're trying to get through. And so I try to be courteous.
It's being courteous, and then,
Yeah.
again, that's someone's job, and that you're helping their job be a little bit easier, and they're all contained
Yeah.
instead of them walking around the grocery store or the parking lot. But this particular store, I mean, like, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
So sometimes, look,
People are tempted to leave it because
Yeah.
you'll see the cards.
I'm not going to
all-
say I've never done that. So look, I'm not.
I mean,
gonna
I
say I've
have
never done
I
it.
have too. I mean, like, but on the norm, I try
Yeah.
to be courteous because, I mean, I don't know if that's really a pet peeve or
No, I think that is.
maybe.
No,
Yeah,
it
maybe not
is.
for me necessarily, but for other people.
For other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they slam into cars and things like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
What about texting? Are you a one-word texter like K or,
Well, my son said K is rude. So one time I said K, and he was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Huh?"
Mm.
Like, to his generation, that is
Yeah.
rude. Like, you send me a text, I didn't like it, K. Well, I talk a lot, so honestly, I
So
would
no one word or one symbol or anything.
I mean, I
texting.
will do a few, but like, right, if I'm having a conversation with someone,
Mhm.
I mean, let's just be real. I would rather have a phone conversation with you.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, hiding behind a
Yeah.
text, it's kind of, I think it serves a purpose.
Yeah.
But if I'm having a conversation, like, I don't want to just text with you every
Mhm.
single day. Like, let's talk.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe that could be a little bit of a pet peeve.
Yeah.
'Cause-
But sometimes you get busy too.
Oh, right. There's a
So
purpose for it, for
you
sure.
might just definitely send a real short text.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think that's a pet peeve at all.
I
Like,
don't know, but sometimes I've read into other people when they send me okay. But
maybe they don't
you
have
know.
time. So maybe
No, I think it's true. I think it's a time thing.
they want to acknowledge that you sent the
Yeah.
text. Hey,
Mhm.
Kim, whatever. Now, they might not have communicated, I'm busy right now.
That's the biggest problem with texting. You can read into it and people
There's no tone. You don't know the tone.
You don't know the tone. You can't see their face,
You're assuming in some kind times the worst, making up stories in your head.
Yeah, you have the whole scenario going on in your
Right,
head
and you
from
don't
a
even
one-word
know
text.
what they're thinking or feeling.
Yeah.
They could
Mhm.
be in the moment thinking about you and really
Busy. They're just busy.
they're busy and they
Yeah.
want to acknowledge you. They then want to communicate with you at some
Mhm.
point of that day.
Yeah,
But right
yeah.
that moment,
Uh-huh.
but they took the time to respond, I think is better than not responding at all. Because, right, if they don't respond, doesn't that send
Yeah.
another message and then it starts adding stuff to your head too?
That's probably a pet peeve. Now, I do this.
Don't respond?
Yes.
Not that much, though. You've
But
gotten
listen,
better.
I'm better, but I'll tell you, for all the people who get offended when people don't respond,
Well,
let me give you a rationale for why that happens. Someone like me, I want to give you my undivided attention.
right?
So if you text me something and it requires more than just an immediate, simple response, and I'm busy, and I'm super busy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I'll be waiting. I'm going to get back to them when I have time to actually.
You're actually thinking that.
I'm actually thinking that. I'm going to respond when I have time to give a proper response, or do I need to call them?
Mm-hmm.
And I just forget.
Yeah, because
I
you're on to the
forget.
next thing, and then you're like, shoot.
Yeah.
But then I think about the relationships in your life that are important. Like, say me,
Yeah.
like if you don't respond and it's something, I don't know, about the podcast or something.
Right.
I just assume, I know you so well, I assume you're busy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, we're going to talk later.
Yeah. And I
So,
will call you back later.
You will.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's more for like, I know you intimately in that way. You know
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
And the people that you're closer with, maybe you can have grace in that way. But maybe
Yeah.
if it's someone that you don't know as well, maybe that
They're
would
probably
feel a little
offended.
different.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't know you the
Right.
same way. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, she's rude.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to, it goes back to having grace, right? To other
And
people.
then I have tried to be better, but the reality is it's kind of just me. And
But that's okay because, like
Yeah.
you said, you like to have a conversation with people more than
Mhm.
anything. And I mean, I'm speaking. I like to have a conversation too. And then sometimes our conversations will be like an hour and a half. I'm
Yes,
like, whoa, you know?
yeah. Look, we can talk, and I have another friend,
We
my
do
other best
talk.
friend. Hours. I can spend hours talking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. So
Mhm.
to wrap up this episode, what do you think is the key takeaways from this as far as pet peeves? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's back to the title. We get annoyed,
Yeah.
and we are also annoying. All of us. We're all
Yep.
guilty.
Yep. And just
Yeah.
maybe, like, okay, like your gum situation. That,
That's stuck in your mind.
I'm never gonna look at gum the same way ever again. I don't think I'll ever look at gum the same way.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, because every time I do chew it, like, because my sister, what she
Mhm.
says, because there's this little gum that I chew. A friend of mine got me hooked on, and I don't even remember the name of it, but it's like in the little blue thing and the little pop top.
Mentos?
No, it's not the Mentos one. It's
I don't know.
I don't know the name of it. I can't think of it, but they're little squares,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be honest, I take about 3 of them, and I shove them in my mouth, and then. I mean, so then
Going to town.
my sister's right. I am chewing and tearing that gum up. So I think about that, her saying that a lot,
Mhm.
but I don't think about like that piece because I
Yeah.
hope I chew with my mouth closed.
Maybe.
maybe not. But yeah, I think you're right. We just have to remember that those are annoying to us,
Mm-hmm.
but we can be annoying too.
Yes.
So maybe just have grace all the way around
Yeah.
and just be more understanding.
Yes.
You shouldn't change
And
who
just
you are.
laugh it off.
Laugh it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so when I see someone shuffling across the parking lot to go into the door of a
Just think,
department
bless
store,
their heart. Bless their heart.
I'm like, instead of getting all like, walk, what are you
Mhm.
trying? You're so cool. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Drives me crazy. It's like we got
Yeah.
places to be and, things to do. We don't got time for all that. I don't know. That's kind of the way
Remember
I look
the
at
grace, Shannon. Remember the
it.
grace.
Remember the grace. And, that, I guess that's one thing we'll have to the takeaway. But,
Mm-hmm.
so that was fun.
That was
It's fun just talking
That
about.
was fun.
But I'm looking forward to our next episode. We're going to be
Mhm.
talking about glowing up
yes.
gracefully.
Yeah.
We've talked about aging a little bit
Yeah.
before, but I think, we all have those products that we love.
Yeah. Just a
or
little different
things
perspective.
And
yeah.
different perspective. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that
Mhm.
and why we love what we love. And yeah, so I hope you'll join us. And thank you for watching us. Follow us on YouTube and Spotify. And don't forget to like us.